Got a couple wheels and tires. We got one mounted up. We're gonna do a little test fit here. Good morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. Huge change from a couple days ago when it was a blizzard. So we got some more parts in. So today we are going to work on putting our power unit on for the telescoping part of the boom, and I got my fuel tank, so we're gonna get that mounted somewhere in here. Haven't decided exactly where yet, and we'll keep rolling on it. We may have it where we could actually drive it again. Spring's supposed to be here Monday, so we can get the springs finished up, and just gets a little more exciting as we go along. Okay, we got those angle iron pieces welded in to support the tank, and we may run a couple pieces across on the ends, but that'll do the trick for now. This piece will be gone once we get our springs all mounted up and everything. So one thing down, we'll go on to getting our other hydraulic unit mounted. Just finishing hooking up the hydraulic hoses. We'll put some power to it and see if it works. Grab my cables off the other one. Alright, we got power. I need some oil. Oil in her. See if it works. We're gonna need some more oil.
It looks like it's about to fall out.
That's it. It's all the way out.
Don't hear no squirting now.
The little wear pads in there, probably worn out.
That's why it's bending.
But it went out. Let's see if it'll go in.
Hopefully.
Keep an eye on this. Overflow here. Well, other than the fact that the cylinder that does the telescoping leaks like crazy, it does work. We got up, and it will telescope. So that does work. We got motor on this side, the other motor on that side. I'll get some battery cables more permanently done up at some point, but we'll have to pull that cylinder out and reseal it, which shouldn't be too bad, but it does work. And we got fuel tank brackets in, so we're making some progress. I got back from lunch, and we're gonna try to get these are a bus bar. So I got one for positive, one for negative, and this is so you can run a wire from your main wire from your battery to this, and then you can come off of this and go to numerous winches, electric motors, whatever. That way you're not trying to hook like 20 things on one terminal of the battery. It drives me nuts. We get cars in the shop all the time, and I'm like, man, what were they thinking? And all the stuff that it's jankily hooked to the battery. So anyway, we're gonna see if we can get these mounted up and start getting some cables hooked up to our, at least to our pump motors. And then when we get some winches, we can also get power off of these as well. So we just drilled and tapped some holes here. I lined it up here on the outside so it was easy to get to drill the holes. Got them tapped for some little Allen head screws here. But then what we'll do is we'll take this, I'm going to put it around on the back side so it's completely protected from everything. And then we'll put the screws in from the back side. And we'll do a -1 and then start hooking up some cables. Okay, we got our main cables hooked up. We got ground over there on that side, and on this side we got our positive bus bar. We got our batteries hooked in parallel, got our main cables hooked up, and then I just hooked up the one power unit for the up and down of the boom. So that would be the one on this side. So I got this one hooked up so I can still raise it up and down. And I got to get the cylinder out of the telescoping part to put some seals in it. So I have these shields over the pulley so bent up that this one pulley won't even turn. So we're going to take them off, see if we can straighten them up, at least enough to where the pulleys will function. Need a punch. One of those shims. It hadn't been greased in a while either. I don't know how people do that kind of stuff. Originally the pin's not wore real bad, it's got somewhere, but cobwebs got me. This one was the one that was really stuck. Oh my gosh. There's no shims in that one at all. That should be fun. Well, that one might function again. This one's gonna suck. Alright, it's Sunday. We made a little pit stop today at Harbor Freight. Got us a winch so we can use it to make some brackets, and we'll get some more winches later when we're ready for them. But for now, we just need to get spacing and make some brackets. So doesn't weld very good. All right, so we got some brackets welded in here where we're going to bolt our winch down. We still got to do them on that side, but we're just drilling holes now to bolt the winch down. So we're drilling some pilot holes first with the dull drill bit, apparently.
It just stays out.
Okay, well, we got this winch brackets welded in and bolt holes drilled, and got it all mounted up. So we will do another one right over here, and these will be the ones that run out through the boom, and eventually there will be some on each side and one on the back right across here. So we're going to work on mounting brackets for the other winch up here. Alright, we got our plate welded on for our rear winch here, and that's probably going to do it for today. So hopefully tomorrow we'll finally have the other leaf spring so we can finish up the leaf springs and mounts, and then we can rock and roll from there. Finish getting the fuel tank mounted, obviously the springs, axle, we get a drive shaft shortened, and it'll at least be mobile again. So we'll see you then. All right, I got my other spring in finally, my other leaf spring. Finally came in clear from Pennsylvania. So we're gonna get these old U-bolts cut, get the old ones off, and start getting the new ones fitted on. All right, there's two. We'll go get the other side and keep it rolling. Well, we're making some progress here after lots of thinking and measuring and thinking and measuring and doing some math and probably doing stuff wrong. I finally got springs bolted on just snug. Got my rear hangers positioned where I want them. We'll cut these off flush with the frame. I'm really trying to keep everything tucked up as close to flush with the frame on those hangers as I can. The only problem that I've run into is my pinion angle is about 9 degrees difference from the angle of my output shaft, and you really want that about 3 degrees or less. So I can either cut the spring mounts off and move them and re-weld them on, which seems like the hardest thing to me, or I have to bring this mounting point down lower, or I have to put a shim between the spring and the axle. Shim between the spring and the axle would be the easiest, but not necessarily the strongest, although I don't think it would go anywhere. I could put a 6 degree shim in, really isn't that much, and probably be fine. Or I may, instead of cutting these off and moving them down lower, which are already slightly below the frame, I may weld a piece on here, come down about 1 inch or so, I think that would do the trick, maybe 1.5 inches. And then my pinion angle would be real close. This bracket would still be about even with the frame, and we'd be about the same spot out here. So nothing would be hanging down real low below the frame, and it would keep my ride height real close to where I want it, especially once we get some more weight on it. It's going to want to sag a little more, so that may be what we do, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get my mounts welded on a little better, and we can do that anytime. So try to get it to where it'll roll and drive again. So that's what we're shooting for. Okay, we're back. Got the tops of these rear mounts cut off and ground down a little bit. Still got to finish welding those on. They're just basically tacked on for right now, and working on drilling holes for my fuel tank straps. So I can get the fuel tank bolted down, and then I can get my fuel line hooked back up, and it'll run again. And as soon as I get a drive shaft, it'll move around under its own power again. So then we can actually do some test lifting with the boom. So that's pretty exciting. All right, that's my 1/4 inch pilot hole drilled. We'll go a little bit bigger. 5/16, I believe. Metal shavings blown out. Well, that kind of sort of almost went like I wanted it to. I think I'm gonna have to put a little spacer under them because I'm trying to buckle the strap up a little there, putting a little too much tension on them, but it is in there for now. We can work on straps later. Get some fuel lines hooked up. We'll just 90 out of there forward, hook into our fuel pump, and away we go. We got some exciting stuff in today. Got a couple wheels and tires. We got one mounted up. We're gonna do a little test fit here and make sure it's gonna fit. 40, 13, 50, 17. Mickey Thompson. KMC forged B-locks. And we gotta roll these up next to each other. Look at the difference in them. If you see that, I don't know if that shows up on camera, but that's pretty crazy. Oh, hopefully they sent the right bolt pattern.
Tire up.
Oh, I know, right. Let's see here. It's not quite as heavy as you might think, because it's aluminum. Oh.
Holy cow.
I've got some new lug nuts coming, but for now, a couple of these will hold it on.
You gotta leave it on there now.
I don't want to scratch it. You gotta send them all socket.
They're gonna get dirty and scratched.
They probably will. We'll keep them nice for a little bit.
They're massive.
4 of them on there.
You think that's gonna fit in the front?
No.
Not without some work.
Oh.
You need a big lift to cut the fender out.
It's not getting lifted anymore. Alright, that should hold it for the time being. Holy cow. Stand up next to it, Alexander. It's almost as tall as you are.
Side lane, Alexander. One on each side.
It's so big.
Just gotta stand up straight. See it.
Yeah, and look at the old tire, how tiny it is. Well, we didn't get it all filmed, but we're mounting up this other tire here. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky with bead locks, and especially with the way the beads are made on these tires, getting it down over that lip. So I think we about got it now. Make sure we get it tightened evenly. All the way around, and just trying to make sure we got that lip of that tire all the way down over the edge there. Little by little. Okay, we got the other back tire and rim mounted up. So now we got both back ones on. I haven't actually ordered the front ones yet. I wanted to get a couple mounted up, see how they fit, how they looked before I spent the money on the other two. So now that we got the back ones mounted up, we can continue fabbing up roll bar, Nerf bars, bracketry for side winches, so on and so forth. So a lot of work still to do, but it's a pretty cool step to get some big old wheels and tires on there. So it's another Saturday morning and we're back to the tow truck. So we've been working on it bits and pieces. We got a couple tires and rims on the back. Man, those things are awesome. And today we got finally got some parts in to reseal the cylinder and the boom that makes it telescope out. So we're gonna get that apart. Hopefully they're the right seals. And I got some new slides, wear guides that go inside there too. So we're gonna get to rolling. All right, so not gonna be as easy as I thought. Shouldn't be too bad. So we got the pin that holds the cylinder down here. It's free in the boom, but it's rusted in the cylinder and will not budge. So we're gonna have to take the whole boom off. Hopefully we can get the pin out of the bottom end, slide the cylinder and this part out to where we can work with that a little more. So that's what we're working on now. We gotta take out a big pin here on the cylinder, take out a big pin here. Hopefully those are both free, so they'll come out. So that's what we're doing. As soon as I get the right size socket. So we got this pin out. It was free, it came out okay. This big one up here is free, and it's coming out, so we'll get it out. Unhook the hoses, get the skid loader on it, and we'll just set that whole boom off where we can work on it a little easier, hopefully. Or not, it might be harder. It's actually coming out pretty easy, surprisingly. I got a bar under there so it can't just go flying. I actually greased this one, so it's coming out. Whoa, coming out. Whoa. That's kind of sketchy. Look at the size of that pin. I think it's huge. Sit down here. There's the short one.
Looks like it's about to tip over.
Yeah, kind of. Alright, I gotta unhook the hoses.
We probably should have unhooked the hoses before we unhooked the pins.
Probably. Probably just gonna make a mess.
Big mess.
It's like the more stuff we put on here, the more stuff gets packed in. A little harder to get to. Guess that's the way it is. It'll be alright. Someday when it's all done, it'll be fabulous. Okay, take it up some more. Up a little more. Oh, right there. Hold on a second. Get the hoses out. Take it up some more. Okay, back up a little. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is proven to be way harder than I thought, which is shocking off. It's usually the way stuff works. Shouldn't be too bad. So I figured out my snap-on ball joint press will just barely fit around this thing. So we're gonna put some tension on this pin, see maybe it'll push it out. That sucker's in there. That sucker's in there for sure. Let me get a hammer. So what happens when you don't maintain your stuff and grease it. I mean, a shot of grease every once in a while, this will never be stuck. I don't know how much force that is, but it's a bunch. It is not wanting to budge. So we've heated, we've hammered, we've soaked with penetrating oil. And they're really stuck. So we're cutting the pin. There's enough room I can get a cutoff wheel in here. We're cutting the pin there, slide it over, cutting the other side. And we can at least get the cylinder out, hopefully put it in a press, get the old pin out, and we'll just have to find some new pins. So it is what it is. It's the way it goes. Just gotta get the job done.
Ready?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to grab the rest of the
That's all right.
screw, though.
Let's try to hold that if you can. It's kind of heavy. Oh, I have it.
Put the skid loader on it. Oh.
Well, that's
That
out
hurt my
there.
knee.
Man, that pin is rusted in. Now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do on this end to get it out. That's tight. That's tight, buddy boy. All right, so I've been at it for a couple hours now, heating the snot out of this thing. A 30-ton jack, about all it wanted. And finally, this pin started moving. Shouldn't be too bad. This other pin, I heated the snot out of it, and it might have moved a little bit. Not sure, may have to heat it some more, but finally got it on the run. It's taken a while. Sometimes you just gotta be persistent and stay after it. We'll get her done. Okay, well, after all that nonsense of getting those rusted pins out, took a break to let it cool down, went over, got some new hoses made. So when we do go back together, got some new hoses. We're gonna take this apart, see if our seal kit's right. So this would normally take a spanner wrench that goes in these little holes to unscrew that, which I don't have. But what I do have is a big pair of pliers. So we'll see if they work. Grip right on that edge, it should turn. Oh, it was already loose. That's, hey, at least something come loose easy after those rusted pins. That might have been where it was leaking. Nope, still got an O-ring there on the cap. So I'm gonna go see if I can find my seal kit. Well, since my cylinder seal kit was wrong, you just gotta keep moving with whatever you can do, one thing at a time. So obviously we needed some new pins to hold it in. So I took a 1-inch grade 8 bolt, cut it to length, drilled a 1/4-inch hole to put a keeper in it, ground a little groove so the grease can move all the way around the pin. And this will work fine in the bottom because I've got plenty of room on either side of where that pin goes in for the keeper and the bolt head. But I'll probably have to order a pin or make one that goes here because that actually has to slide inside of the other piece. So I got my new plate here bolted in. There's some little wear strips that go in there. That plate was completely gone. Who knows what happened to it. And then I got some new wear strips for the other end. So we're gonna put the bottom part of the cylinder back in there, get it pinned in, and I can actually mount that into the boom back on the truck, get the hoses hooked back up. Then when I get my seals, I can slide the cylinder in there, tighten it down, slide this into the boom, pin it, and should be ready to rock and roll. So we just try to keep moving with what we can since we're out of parts, and just one step at a time. Okay, got the boom mounted back on here. The bottom part of the cylinder in there, kind of hard to see, but got the pins back in. I haven't hooked the hoses up yet, but once I get the seals, for the right seals for the cylinder, we can slide that in, tighten that cap down, and hopefully it won't leak. And then we can move on to something else. So anyway, that's gonna do it for today. It was a long day. Pain in the butt, get those rusted in pins out, and gonna call it a day.